Hi.
Hello friends, welcome to Jiku Diaries YouTube channel for this very special episode. We have none other than former South Africa fast bowler Fanie de Villiers joining me from Johannesburg on Sunday morning local time from Johannesburg. Today being Father's Day, Fanie de Villiers did find time to talk to Jiku Diaries, and we all know Fanie de Villiers as the fast bowler of the 90s for South Africa, who played 9 test matches, more than 70 ODIs, played in the 1996 World Cup in the subcontinent. He was the fast bowling opening partner of the White Lightning, Alan Donald. Without taking away much time, let's welcome Fanie de Villiers, and here he is. Fanie, thank you very much. Welcome to Jiku Diaries YouTube channel. And thank you so much for doing this on a very busy Father's Day.
Yeah, I'm going to play golf with my boys in an hour's time. So enjoying the luxury of children around you, and they're definitely keeping me young.
And what better way to celebrate South Africa winning the WTC final on a Father's Day with playing golf with your sons?
Absolutely. No, it was fantastic yesterday. We all enjoyed it. It was special for South African cricket. It was special for Bavuma. It was special for Markram. That's my favorite. It was special, I think, for a lot of people supporting behind the scenes that used to play cricket for South Africa and missed out on certain tournaments. And most of us were part of those. So very, very, very special day.
Oh, yes, indeed. Most of India are also celebrating because they feel so happy for South Africa after being so near yet so far in so many of the ICC events, semi-finals, finals. The last year was a heartbreak for South Africa, but I won't complain. India won the final against South Africa, the T20 World Cup. But but how is South Africa celebrating? How happy are you?
I think, firstly, I think what it means for cricket South Africa is massive. What it means for the players out there that fought a lot of hardship and a lot of battles is fantastic. I do think most of us that plays the game realize that there's a certain amount of good fortune in every match that you play. And I'm not even talking about this specific match against Australia that's really supposedly better than us on paper and stats and preparation and quality, etc. Doesn't matter what it is. But when it comes to the good fortune that one-day cricket gives you, the good fortune that T20 cricket gives you, sometimes on the day, it does play a massive role. I think it would have been completely different in South African cricket if you look at all the semi-finals and finals and quarterfinals that we have made in the past. We're talking about 15 plus probably. We probably would have done better if there were a three-way final where you play the best out of three. But that doesn't happen really, and there's not a lot of time for that. So I think certain years we had fantastic players, we had good teams. We had teams that were better than others, I believe, and then you lose one-day games sometimes that cost you. Not looking for excuses, but looking at the reality of the good fortune that one finds. Good fortune in this last test match, Giku, I think is quite important to talk about. It started with us winning the toss. That played a massive role in this test match.
And for South Africa to bounce back after giving Australia a handy lead, 74-75 was going to be a match-winning lead for Australia, but South Africa bounced back, and Aiden Markram's 100, it certainly ranks in the top of test centuries in recent times, wasn't it?
I think. When it comes to stats, when it comes to specific games that's remembered, we started playing in the 93-94s against England for the first time with 20 years of in isolation. And I remember we turned up at Lord's and we gave the English a good hiding in 3 days. That didn't mean as much, and it will never mean as much as a game that's more emotionally packed, like a game that we lost, won against Australia. We lost 11 or 15 sessions, and you still win the game. Those games are the emotional ones. Those games are the ones that you remember so much better. And I think yesterday's test match ranks in one of those that's got a lot of emotion involved, a lot of hype involved, a lot of against the odds involved. And that starts ranking the test match as a higher quality caliber test match. And then if you're one of the players that plays well in a game like that and take the knocks to the next level, I don't think I was never fortunate enough to watch a Graham Pollock bat and the likes of Barry Richards and Mike Proctor and those boys. But my goodness, I've seen a lot of test crickets over the last 30 years, and this specific knock, the way it was stabilized in the middle, the way it was planned, executed, conservativeness, proper test cricket where you could have hit 50 to 100 balls before. But you just don't do it. You just literally wait for the bad ball or a ball that comes off the thick edge for a single down to third man. That's proper test cricket. That's the kind of test cricket that I enjoy, where there's a lot of IQ involved, cricket IQ involved, recognizing the situation and playing accordingly. And that's exactly what Markram did in the specific knock. But we mustn't take anything away from Bavuma either.
Exactly. I was coming to that. The partnership Bavuma and Markram stitched together. Bavuma, I always liked his batsmanship. I always thought he was one who never gave it up, who had that never say die attitude, brave, taking on the giants of whatever you could see, the bowlers of Australia. And Markram was coming from IPL, having played a T20 cricket for about 2 months, to make that adjustment to Test cricket. That was fantastic, wasn't it? In just about 10 days' time to get into the test match mode. And to score that 100 after getting a duck in the first innings. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's very, Agiko, I think it's very important to recognize how good Bavuma has been since he's taken over the captaincy of South African cricket. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a 50-plus average since he's been the captain of South African cricket. I wouldn't be surprised if his averages over the last 10, 12 test matches is over 60, which is probably the highest that one can find running around. I know he's got a 36 or 38 average test cricket-wise, but have a look. I've always, when I commentate cricket, I always have a look at what the guy's average is over the last 20, 25, 15 test matches, sometimes even as much as 10 test matches if they were played in a short period of time. That gives you a true perception of how good somebody is. You know, a lot of players can go and make 200 against the Bangladesh or Zimbabwe, and their averages is crooked. In this specific case, go and have a look at how good Bavuma has been over the last 10, 15 test matches, and then you'll get a perception why most of us in the commentary box said if somebody can play an anchor's knock, it will be Bavuma, and hopefully one of the other good players that we have will play around him. And we ended up in a test match with two guys putting up their hands and playing two solid anchor knocks. And that's exactly what you need to win a test match.
What makes Bavuma such a good captain? If you looking at the records, there is the statistics of him being only after P.S.C. Chapman of England a century ago to win 9 out of his first 10 tests as captain. And even otherwise, keep aside this statistics apart, he is still a good leader. What makes him such a successful captain?
Gigo, I don't think we will know exactly what's happening in the dressing room. But what's visual to most of us, that's commentators, that's ex-players, is that he handles him quite well as a captain. Let's face it, when it comes to batting and setting the tone how good you should be, he's right up there with a 50-plus average since he's been a captain and a 60-plus average probably in the last 10 matches, I said. I think it's very important to have a look at the character, the personality, the quality of person that heads up your country's team. There's no flourish kind of celebrations when you see him. He's a normal guy. He's a good guy. He's a conservative captain. The way he handles himself in front of the microphone is really special. He creates a perception of a clean, neat-cut guy that you want to meet and that you want to kind of market your products with. He's the kind of guy that fits into that category where most of us as parents would like to see. You don't like the likes of, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with tattoos, but that whole tattoo thing, hairstyle thing, Alice band thing, earrings thing, he's a clean-cut sportsman. The Samprasas, the Federers, the Markrams of the world. And I wouldn't be surprised if you start comparing our team with the likes of the rest of the world teams when it comes to cleanliness, good ambassadorship, handling the public proper. Respect for people that means nothing to them. We've probably got 7, 8, 9 players in our team that fits into that category, and that makes me proud of our team. I've never been not proud of our team. I've always been proud of the way they handle themselves on the field, off the field, with their families, with the supporters, with everybody else. And Markram and even the likes of Klaasen, that's not playing, that should be playing Test cricket. I mean, he's got a 46 average. It shows you how many good players are there. Clean cut, good, nice guys. And that's what I like. And I think off the field, we look better than most teams. And I'm so happy that we've got a captain that exhibits that kind of personality and character out there. And he deserves the trophy. He deserves all the accolades going his way.
Fanie, with the WTC final victory, do you think now the chokers tag is away from will be away from South Africa? Because that was something which was always associated with South African cricket. Now you think it will be now history?
I don't think so. It's a cliche more than anything else for the media. It's a cliche for people to use when they don't like South Africa. You need to be a bloody good cricket team to make so many finals and semi-finals out there over the last 15, 20, 30 years. And we've done that. We've always done that. I know cricket well enough to know that the good fortune, the luck factor in T20 cricket is a good 50-60% in a final or a semi-final. I know the luck factor in ODI cricket ranks up to 30-35% when it comes to finals and when it comes to on the day. I reckon, as I said earlier, we would have played many more finals and won many more trophies if it was the best out of 3, because our rankings in those days said a lot. And when it comes to a player making a mistake, Herschel Gibbs dropping a catch, or Alan Donald and Klusener making a mistake in a single run, and suddenly the whole team gets the tag. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's ever been fair. But I reckon the people that use it as cliches will keep on using it until we've won every single trophy that's to be won in every different category. But we've proved that we're good enough, and I think that's good enough for me.
Definitely. And what do you think can this win do to South Africa cricket? The WTC final victory, what can it do?
I think we're a country that's diverse. We're a country that's trying to do the best with the rules and the regulations around us. It definitely brings a lot of patriotism into the game. It gets the cricket players to get the feel that they on par with the rugby players that has also won World Cups, and the marketing ability of Test cricket as such has come to the fore in this specific last Test match. You know, Test cricket, we don't play a lot of games against you guys, India. We don't play a lot of games against Australia. We had a very easy run in this supposedly 2 years to qualify. We didn't have the best teams that we were playing against, but hopefully this proves, even to the ICC and Australia and India and England, that we're out there to compete, that we're out there and good enough to play. And hopefully the nepotism that I've experienced over the years when it comes to the Cinderella teams around the world, hopefully that will be under scrutiny, and hopefully we will play more Test matches against the better teams in the world. It's definitely meant a lot for us when it comes to how good we are and what we can do. And then the last bit is what it means to our youth, the young cricketers of this country, that can look up to captains, that can look up to opening batsmen, can look up to the Rabadas of the world that had a fantastic Test match. We haven't even mentioned him yet. He started the whole process of us winning the specific final. I really had my doubt if we were good enough to take 20 wickets in the right space of time to win a Test match. And Rabada came to the fore, and he took nearly half of those wickets and gave us a chance. So absolutely wonderful marketing quality and ability and potential that this cup has given us.
South Africa is touring India for a 2 Test series in November, but Dr. Ali Bakar, just speaking to him earlier in the day, he was disappointed that South Africa do not have enough test matches this coming summer. Though they play about 14 tests in the next WTC cycle, it's unevenly spread. So how do you look at it?
I think it's very obvious. I think he's right on the button. It's very obvious that there's nepotism. I'm an outsider. I'm not an administrator. I think you as a journalist will also think, why didn't we play in this cycle the last 2 years against England or Australia? There's without a doubt 3 countries ruling Test cricket and world cricket. If it's linked to the weak rand, I'm not too sure. If it's linked to strength versus strength, then they need to do something about it. And strength versus strength, I reckon there should be a 2-tier system. I reckon there should be 6 teams playing Test cricket, and you should have a second tier. And if they qualify to play against 1 or 2, 3 teams a year, then let them play 1 or 2 games, the better side of that second tier. I don't agree with all the cricket kind of averages that ones get when you play against the weaker teams in the world. It makes Test cricket cheap. It gets people not to watch the game. We need to do everything that can market the game of Test cricket. It's sucking hinted more than anything else over the last few years, and one needs to identify why. If you would ask me what I'll do about it, I'll take T20 cricket and I have a separate T20 calendar, a T20 calendar full time around the world, wherever, and every 2-3 years a national side picks the best team and they play in the World Cup. They can do it every 2 years if they want to, but have T20 cricket completely separate from one day cricket and Test cricket, and play strength versus strength. And you can have a T20 tournament in a country with a Test series in the same country at the same time, like rugby does. Rugby has got a completely separate sevens system versus the normal rugby. So if they're really interested, the people at B, the people creating that nepotism, if they're interested in surviving Test cricket, South Africa has put their hand up and say, listen, we are there, we're available. Let's make it better, and let's work on the scenario that can keep Test cricket in the system, and that can keep one-day cricket in the system. One-day cricket is a special game. It's a fantastic medium. We cannot get one-day cricket to disappear over time just because T20 is such a money spinner. They should be on their own. They should run up their own for a 3-4 year cycle. And once in 3-4 years, we can play a World Cup against it. And then the cycle can start all over again. I really do believe that T20 should be in a separate scenario than Test cricket and one-day cricket. Then you'll have more Test matches played. And then one can find more time to play Test cricket, because no T20 cricket is going to influence Test cricket or one-day cricket. And you'll develop your players in separate units. And if you are good enough in one-day cricket, the SA20s or the IPLs or the CPLs can ask you if you're available for trials. And then you can go towards where the bigger money is if you really want to. But it should be run parallel to each other and not influence each other. Then we'll have enough test matches played, and you'll have enough players developing in those categories.
And perhaps that was why we saw a new team travel to New Zealand when it was clashing with the SA20 at the start of 2024, wasn't it? South Africa team to New Zealand in early 2024, an entirely new set of team.
We did
with the regulars in the SA20.
And Geku, what did that do to cricket? It hurt Test cricket.
It did.
It can be done, but it hurt Test cricket. So one needs to make a decision and say, listen, all the IPL sponsors are going to take world cricket over in T20 cricket. And we're gonna have full-time tournaments for these players. We're going to not play 220 games a year. We're going to play 400 games a year. Full-time Test, full-time T20 cricket, and the public out there can decide what they want to support. And I'll tell you now, there's going to be enough support for Test cricket if we keep a 2-tier system in Test cricket too. We can't play the likes of Bangladesh and the likes of Zimbabwe and all the other teams and think you're going to market the game and you're going to have people watching the game. People don't watch those games. Hence the reason that there's problem. You even have to go as far. Look at the popularity of that Test match that we've just played. It's a neutral ground for both teams. Sold out crowd.
Yes.
Why can't you just play in South Africa, just at Centurion Park, and just in Newlands, because those are the two most supported test grounds in this country. And when test cricket is played, you only play on those two venues. The money can be shared to the other areas, but one needs to have a look at what markets the game and what makes the game better. And then you'll get your sponsors back. Then you'll get the people that want to get involved back, because the crowds are going to be full all the time. People need to rethink how Test cricket is run, how T20 cricket is run, and how one-day cricket is run. T20 should be completely separate in our own business model, and we should look after the likes of what the purists enjoy and what the better players. Because let's face it, you get better players in one-day cricket than you get in T20 cricket. A lot of those guys won't even make a one-day side. They won't even think of making it. They won't even go on trials for a test team. So there's two different quality cricket players, and both needs to be accommodated.
Very, very valid points, Fanie. And finally, as defending champions of this Test Championship, WTC, how is it going to be difficult for SA to defend this title? Because we had New Zealand, the first time winners of WTC final, not make it to the final next time. India made it to the final twice, both runners-up. Australia last time winners could not defend the title. How is it going to be for South Africa?
One doesn't know and one doesn't care. I honestly don't care that much. We've won a World Cup. We've won a big trophy. As a purist, one needs to be realistic on what your real chances are. Would we have been in the final if it wasn't for England and Australia not playing test matches? I'm not too sure. But there's no, at the end of a trophy, there's no little column for remarks. You've won the trophy, your name is there, the date is there, it's set in time. And we look forward to trying. And if India and Australia and England want to do us a favor, don't let us play against you guys. Let's qualify for the next final quite easily and play one of you guys again. I enjoyed the nepotism that took place with two of the three best countries not playing in this final, because it's their problem. They created this problem for themselves.
Very, very interesting thoughts, Fanie, and I hope the authorities listen to this and do something about making it a competitive test arena the world over. So on that note, can I say thank you to you very much, and wonderful of you to have come on this show and given your fantastic thoughts, your views, and for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Take care and have a good time at the golf course. So friends, that was Fanie de Villiers, the former South Africa pacer, and now a family man who loves his golf and who's also into cricket commentary. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay safe. Until next time. Bye-bye.